Brothers didn't have no lesson. Brothers was going by the floor of the mouth, but what the Father said. And they built with that. They walked and talked to the gates of hell, teaching what they knew. Just imagine, if you got 120 degrees and you ain't doing nothing. You ain't doing nothing with it. These seats should be filled up. If your degree is over with knowledge, you should be able to teach somebody knowledge, power, and know the effect of teaching somebody knowledge, power, the cause and effect of what will happen if you teach it right. If you teach somebody knowledge, power, what they gonna do? Teach somebody knowledge culture. What somebody knowledge culture gonna do? Teach somebody knowledge understanding. And that go on. Now just imagine somebody knowledge culture have a cycle around them, 20, 30, 50 people around them. Build. That's how you build. You don't take 120 degrees and lay on it. Probably ain't get the lesson from the mosque. Back, you know. If you had got it from the mosque, they would have killed him immediately. Retrieve. The lessons came from the mind. On to back and think you build when you see another brother in your convert lesson, think you dealing with high sign. Because by the time 120 degrees hit the street, the firstborn and the other six went off with it into high sign. They left the planet, took it off with the mother and brought the Muslims down. Muslims bear when to God at that time. When 120, when our 120, they teach our 120. So don't think that the lessons came from the mom. Allah knew what you were doing. You gotta know what you do. You gotta teach. You got baby, teach him. And then baby, teach baby. And then you see the magnet. You ain't gonna see no magnet. Just saying you convert with your brother, 120 degrees, maybe you dealing with high explosive. That's what you're dealing with, high explosive. You're gonna blow yourself up. That's just what you're gonna do. I'm telling you, you learn 120 degrees, you give it to another baby. Don't keep it for yourself. That's how the knowledge spread. But when brother got 120 degrees, they went off with it. They started holding ciphers around them, like 50 people at a time, listening to one person. Bill, teaching. Off with it without teaching. Knowledge, you old enough to teach this knowledge. You teach somebody young, so that young one will bring the master to the attractive. Today with the knowledge, polarity of the planet Earth is magnetic 1 and magnetic 2. Magnetic 1 is the North Pole, magnetic 2 is the South Pole. The denominator and the numerator. We deal with the numerator today. Magnetic 2, which is the wisdom. Bring wisdom come from God. That comes from the teachings of God. God teaches through the street. You can't teach nobody, ain't no need of you being here. That's for real. That's real. Because you got to teach in order for you to survive the hell that's going to break through. But they say the blood going to be up to the altar. When the teachers hit the street, in order to survive the hell that's soon to break through, you must survive the catastrophe with the knowledge of wisdom or the degree of life that you have within you. We want you to be free. That's how you're going to survive. Peace.
Yeah. My way of seeing it is take your knowledge and put it into action. Wisdom is wise words in action. So when you do that, you bring forth a clear mental picture of who you are, and you let others know who you are and what you stand for. So I come to you here today, guys and earths, because there's a major health concern in our community, specifically concerning our foods and how they're being grown nowadays. You might have heard of genetically modified organisms, also GMO. What that is a process of genetically modifying organisms so that they can produce a certain trait, a certain gene that can cause either a good effect or a bad effect. In this case, it's a bad effect because they've been manipulating the genes inside of the seeds, and they actually allow that gene to produce a bacteria, which later on causes different diseases. Now, when we look at the wisdom knowledge degree of 1 to 40, you see that it asks who is the founder of the unlike dragon and like repel, and is an original man who goes by the name of Jafu. Jafu was born 20 miles from the city of Mecca in the year 8,400. Now, what that tells me is that Yakub, being an original man, was a master scientist. He was the god of science. So he knew everything that had to do with genetic manipulation. Because as you know, he was the one who grafted the original man to become the Caucasian man, as you know. So he also, as later on you see in the degrees, that he also taught the devil how to master these techniques. And so nowadays we are becoming victims of that teaching that Yakub has taught the Caucasian man, because now the Caucasian man has taken that knowledge and into a form where he can destroy our population. And how is he doing that? Well, genetically modified foods are actually foods that have been injected with different types of genes and hormones from other animals to acquire a certain a trait that would either like repel insects or totally repel all different other types of bacteria and so-called viruses like E. coli. But the truth of the matter is that what they're doing is actually manipulating the DNA into the point where it becomes destructive and detrimental to ourselves. I have documentation that I'm willing to give out. I only have a limited resource of documentation, but my point here today is that we have to become more aware of what we are eating. Now, I know that the nation eats right, and most of us know what's good and what's not good for us. But for your understanding, the natural foods are being targeted as well. So if you're a vegetarian, right, or a vegan, you have to understand that they're also putting this in plants, and what they're doing is also a form of them of centralizing agriculture, where they want to control all the agriculture in the world, basically 90% of agriculture in the world. And so that is what is going on, to the point where we will be powerless in the struggle of trying to survive, because what we have to understand that the main source of nutrition here is the main source of life is our food. And so when you control food, that is one of the biggest weapons that you can use against the people. So when you think about it, you have so many cancers. You have so many allergies, people that develop immunological diseases, neurological diseases, etc., etc. You wonder why, and it's unexplained, and then it leads people to go and dwell in the mysterious places where they worship the mysterious God, instead of looking at their own self. And what we have to do is that we have to actually teach our children, because they're the first ones who are being targeted. When they come out of school, what we have to understand is that the first thing they do is go to the store, buy chips, or buy brownies, or ice cream, or whatnot. So a lot of us might be eating right, but to tell you the truth, we're not doing enough. Because there's a lot of brothers and sisters being sick of things that are unknown. Me and my mother, me and my family, my solar system is victim of that because of the fact that she suffers from lupus. And my little brother came out with muscular dystrophy. And, you know, that empowered me, God, to come out and actually speak out, because this is an attack on the original people as well as all the people on planet Earth. Okay? And what really bothers me is that they're attacking the children. And how are they attacking the children? Well, because they put out all these new products on the market with new colorings and new logos and different types of propaganda, which makes them want to buy these things. And a lot of our brothers and sisters might not know what our children are buying, but in a large scale, that's just us. How about all the rest of the other people that don't know? So we must let the knowledge be born. And so, for example, right now, I was just asking all our brothers and sisters if you can go to responsibletechnology.org and you can sign a petition asking Obama if he can put labels on genetically modified products, because as we know, these genetically modified foods are known to cause all different sorts of diseases. And I'm sorry to say this, but 90% of our corn crops has been infected with genetically modified organisms. So when you look at it, most of us cook with corn oil, or some of us cook with canola oil, or different types of oils, but when you look at it, how are these oils grown? And so we don't know. And so if we keep on buying these sorts of foods without fighting the system, without fighting for our rights to know what's in our food, then they're going to keep on doing it, and it's going to spread to all the food chain, eventually to the point where we are made powerless in that area. And for example, that's what they want, because you know that Yapu only has, or the Caucasian man only has 6.5 ounces of brain mass, and he is weak. Six parts of it.
Get from the camera,
and so, for example, he's trying to make us weak just like him. He's trying to make us weak in the genetic form, in the form where you will be affected in future generations. So, for example, the clinical studies that have been done by Monsanto and the FDA haven't been fully studied. They haven't been fully completed. And they just go about it and say, well, it's safe. You see that no major harm. Maybe, you know, a couple of people might become infertile. Well, you know what? When you become infertile, guess what? That's the death of a nation. Because when you cannot reproduce and you cannot bring about the star, the best part of life, which, you know what I'm saying? That will limit our nation, and that is another way of destroying our nation. So they've moved on from guns and chains to genes and toxins and poisons.
Sure.
So now when you think about it, you say, wow, no wonder I'm sick from this. No wonder I'm sick from that, because it is unjustifiable what the FDA has done into saying that most of these foods are safe, and they're really not. So what we have to do is take that power that we had and use it. Use it, because a lot of us are dying and we don't know why. But now you know why. So now let's take this knowledge and put it into action. Okay, so that way all the people can know, and we can create what is called a tipping point, where if you don't consume their products that contain GMO, eventually these companies will become bankrupt, and therefore they will be forced to take it out of their products. But if we don't speak about this, and we let it go on and say, well, this guy's crazy, I don't know him, who is he? Then eventually it's gonna get to the point where, you know, you're not gonna have power over anything, and then we're gonna be turned into a population that submits to the mysterious God. So I say to you guys and Herbs, if you want any more information about this, you can come see me back outside at the cafeteria. I'm a little nervous, forgive me, because this is my first time in my parliament. And all the stuff I had to decipher born to go to today, and I put that up because I felt like this was more important than Herbs, and I hope that this is my way of showing you the highest level or the highest form of understanding, which is love, guys. And Herbs.
Made it legal for clone meat.
That's right. That's right.
So it's a lot of stuff that's happening. But the point that really kills me is Elijah Muhammad wrote How to Eat to Live. And if you read that book, you don't have to go through that. Because it tells you how to eat to live. And a lot of us look at the book and say, yeah, that was in my plus lesson. Well, look at this. It got to be in your system now. Because if it's not, you don't know what you eat. Babies in Japan died because of the poisons that they put in the fertilizer, they put in the air, and the cows had it, and then all of a sudden the baby's milk was given to them. Babies died. So this ain't no joke. You know, the one reason why we say we the God's nurse on the planet Earth is because we're supposed to be out living all of that. We're supposed to understand and have knowledge of these things long before. When we talked about being vegetarian, what we were talking about was oatmeal cookies, orange juice, no milk, no this, no that. Now, in this day and time, you could have a whole vegetarian meal. On television, they got a big book like that, The Vegetarian Eater. So everybody is going towards either natural foods, what they call it, organic foods, or not. But we have to watch out for McDonald's, Burger King, Kentucky Fried, you name it, they claim it. Because if they mass producing it, and we're not looking at ourselves on how we should survive in the next 20, 30, 40 centuries into the future, then I don't know what it's about. Because my thing is longevity. Elijah used to say that if you eat right, when you get to be 99, you look like you're 16. This is how Elijah put it way back when he wrote that book. And in this day and time, you find a lot of kids crazy, nuts, and you don't know why. Why is he crazy? Why is he nuts? Nobody looking at what they're doing to our food. I just want to bounce off of what he said because it's important to how to eat to live. We can't be just saying, okay, let me get this and let me eat that. Yeah, I want a Nathan's Frank and a this and that. Because they even show you in the movies how they take somebody, cut them up, put them in the drinks and say, I got these special sauces. So it's no joke. We got to have our own refineries one day. We got to have our own places to build. This is not a nation that's supposed to be poor. Let me make that understood. There's a lot of brothers that economically deal with other people that are millionaires, and when it comes to their nation, we poor righteous teachers. The law was set there to let you know that we're not trying to get rich off our labor. We're not trying to get rich off our labor. Remember, we went to get gold and didn't find them. And the trader disappeared and there was no one to speak the language. And then what happened? They wanted to go home, but what, they couldn't swim? So that's the point that we already know. So why be deaf, dumb, and blind to the things that's already in front of us? We look at the lessons and the 5 minutes later, oh, they are plus lessons. You put them up in the shelf. We was taught as children to be strong, to have knowledge of ourselves, and to understand from knowledge to cipher what our nation is about. Not to be called ignorant, not to let somebody bring a trading post in the jungle of our continent. We was taught that. It was right in front of our face. Oh, that's just a lesson, God. Yeah, it was in the 1 to 14, but when you got to the 1 to 40, what did you learn? Gospel rules and regulations and cardinal laws enforced by manufacturing the devil. Why the hell they talk about if we're going to destroy the devil in the 1 to 40, why do they talk about trading posts? Why do they talk about a half original Columbus and Musa? Now, if the devil was supposed to die, he was supposed to die in the 1 to 40. So how come we get the 1 to 14 before the 1 to 40? Understand what your lessons are telling you. We gotta grow and develop and make ourselves strong. You can't think about taking the devil off the planet Earth. And if you do, it might not be a white one. That's the shit that killed me. Oh, white man is a devil. And then you get a brother to put a knife so far in your back, you don't have one. And who's the father of the devil? Yakub. Original black man, born 20 miles outside the city. Wisdom Cipher. Scribe laws of Islam said personality. So they already show you in your lesson what you're not supposed to be called. How you're not supposed to fall victim to yourself. Now, let me get into nation business.
Oh, praise.
As long as you don't say salam alaikum, I'm smack.
Salam alaikum.
Yeah. One of the things that's coming up is the dance that Ramel is selling tickets for. All right, Ramel is only one person that's selling tickets. He got his crew here selling the tickets. I ain't gonna name names. Earthly Jew is responsible for the safe haven. And on the 27th, we have it here. I'm going through the list. I can let you go. Don't stop me. Okay, so now I have to write it down because everybody keep cutting in. So now it's in black and white and all the other colors. Okay? Region 1 is having their conference on the 27th. Right here in the cafeteria.
I'll take care of that.
From 1 to 4. Warren Justice is going to talk about that. In the summertime, Sean Prue week, the dance is on Friday. Everybody say move it to Saturday because more people will be in here. It's still up in the air on what day we're going to give it. But it's the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th is the Sean Prue here. The parliaments for all next year is in front of you. So nobody can say, I thought it was on Monday when it was on Sunday. Excuse me. You got, what you laughing at? You got, in the summertime, they got a tribute. I don't call it a memorial for all the brothers that went home. I would like to see all the gods and earth that went home. There's brothers that went home and there's earth that went home. But they have a memorial in Medina. Don't you go nowhere, Earthly Jew. They have it on, August 16th, but if it rains, they're going to have it on the 23rd. And we was out there when it rained, so I don't even know why they're switching it up.
Peace, God. Peace. I'm going to make this short and brief. Once again, we are doing our 4th annual Kwanzaa, Safe Haven Kwanzaa celebration for the New Year. And what we're doing, we have collected toys and donations from different companies and agencies. And we didn't get a lot this year, but we're going to make it happen. So what I would like to let you know is that we need to bring young God and young earth to the Lord's School Mecca. We have 6 sessions. Every session is an hour. And When you come into the session, you need to be there 15 minutes before the session starts. Not coming at 3 o'clock and say, I want to sit down up on my toys. No. We have a Kwanzaa celebration we'll be doing every session, and my God Wise is will be doing the presentation. If there's any children that know the 7 principles of Kwanzaa, we want to come up front and build on it because those children will be a special gift because we want to make sure our children are in tune with our way of life as well as other people's culture and way of life. We just want to see where they're at. It's going to be a beautiful celebration. We will be having food as well, but what we need to let you know is that this event has been going on for the last 4 years, and I can tell you the God's honest truth. Everybody from out of the community come, and the nation of God and earth, they don't come. And I'm not dissatisfied with it. It's just I would like to see our family bring our children to these events because it's special when you know we are doing these events every year. Bring the babies out. Let them be here to see what we're doing because everybody says we're not doing nothing. We are. But we need to have the babies here to enjoy these festivals. I'm hoping that everybody come out on the Wisdom God Day and we'll be from 2 to 4. You don't have to stay at every session, 1 hour session. You come and you go. You can't come and sit in for all 5 sessions because there's a lot of people going to be coming through and we're not going to be selfish to the people from the community as well. We want to show our righteousness as well. So we want to come in because we have not ourselves, that's our house. We have to respect people coming to our house. So when they come in and they just let them come in. You leave, come back when you want, but you got to get up out of the seat and let those people come in as well.
The session is going to be on the hour?
Every hour, God, every hour we'll do the sessions, yes. Yes, yes. And we have, Kiss FM should be hosting again this year. And I'm hoping, like I said, I want everybody to come out. I think that should be it.
Yes.
Okay, that's it. Pardon me, excuse me. Please, I have to say one thing. I want to say something to Joe. I should have said this last phone. I'm so sorry to say this. I want to thank all the guards that came out to the Wyoming Youth Foundation. Me and my God opened the after school program. I'm just so happy to know that Ramel was there, Umar there, just as our kids was doing our volunteers to come and help the after school program. And it's a beautiful thing. Sincere was there. Divine Prince was there. The guards, they came out and they came in full force to give me the support I needed to get the after school program running. And it's running, we have 2 months on. We have just 6 children there already. And we are getting more children starting the new year. The program is really successful. And I just want to say, if anybody would like to come and add on to volunteer a couple of hours in the afternoon, we'll be more than happy for more of the earth to come down. But the God is there, just as I can, it is wonderful. He's doing well for children as well. And I want to thank all the guards that participated and came out to the open house. And I thank you so much for coming out. Peace.
At this time, one please, to come over here and speak to
I'm just actually making one that the new issue of the 14th degree is out now. It's the winning issue. So we're over there by Father Bouchon. You know, we have a couple of things in here that are really good this issue because we have single parent budgeting and we also have a lot of recipes in there like health conscious recipes. And I also wanted to tell everyone about, just remind them that the Peaceful Queens Retreat is still coming up and the deadline for the deposit is the end of this month. So if you want to send your women or sponsor a earth, you know, you can sign up at that table also. So thank you very much. Peace.
Scientific facts. I just want to jump in and make knowledge point that we have a Nation of Gods and Earth business directory. As it stands right now, the Earth and I are the only ones who are screening who joins and who does not. What it is, basically, it's free advertising for our nation. If you have a business and you would like to advertise, you would like to get out there so that we can spend our money amongst each other, this is a perfect opportunity. When you contact us, if it's the guard, I'm going to be getting back to you most likely, unless I'm tied up with work or whatever, I got stuff going on. If it's the earth, my earth is going to contact that individual. There is a screening process. It's not necessarily do you know this lesson or that lesson. It's basically we want to know who you are. All right, you're not just going to show up and say I have a shop, I make drums, and yeah, I'm so and so God, and we get the building with you and you don't know nothing. and you ain't got no, you ain't alike. You don't be alike, you don't see alike, you're not gonna get in. However, if you have a business and this is what you do, and this is who you are, feel free to come on through and you get right on there. You get a space, you get a lot of space on the business directory space, and you get your own page. So we can click onto your page and go in and see what you do with your business. All right, I have a few cards with me, and I'll be more than happy to give you the email address, phone number, whatever. You can get in contact with us. I was supposed to be doing something for today. I haven't seen them. I haven't had the time, so I can't promise you that I can do it for you. However, if you come through and you have a package already you present, or you already have a website, or you would like to put a website together and get on there, it's free advertising. I can't stress that enough. Please.
Peace, God, to them. Just a million times. Tax season is coming for all y'all that are going to file your taxes. The earth and myself will be very appreciative if you will file your taxes with us. Supreme Tax Service. Yeah, that's right. You might as well, because H&R Block in Jacksonville are going to hit you hard. We won't hit you hard. For anyone who's interested, I'll have flyers and business cards available starting January 15th. If you need to file your taxes, haven't done right, think about the Supreme Tax Prep Service, which we consider to be the national tax service. Just start now, but we will do you right. Right, eternity, Father, and the Holy Father. Kingdom.
I come in the divine name of Lord, born Justice of Lord. I reside in P-Lord. Today's mathematics is wisdom, knowledge, all being born to understanding. The polarity of wisdom, knowledge, wisdom, to get a clear understanding of what time it is, so you and I definitely convert. And that's what I'm here today to do, is to convert with my brothers as well as my sisters. First and foremost, we're having a region conference right here next Saturday from 1 to 4. A region conference is this, where all the gods and earth in this tri-state area, but this is region 1, where the foundation of the knowledge and wisdom of the original people was first found when the planet was made, right here. So our region 1 is here. We need all able mind, body to come from 1 to 4. So we can put some structure to some ideas that we want to see lived out, or we want to restructure some ideas that have already been lived out. Because the original man, I'm going to say original people, so I can include the black woman in this bill, that the original people renews their history every 25,000 years. In this day and time, our 25,000 years is every 25 days. Put the wisdom, power, born the idea of God that manifests a true and living, strong foundation. We don't want people to think that just because 4 or 5 brothers and 3 and 6 sisters come to a meeting or come and create a committee, that that's a done deal for the whole nation to accept. Because we're looking at all these minds in here, all these bodies in here. Look at all the minds and bodies of people that are not here. So how can I stand up here and say, because I'm dealing with security, that this is the way it's going to be, when everybody else may have jobs doing security as well? I may say, I think something is mandated based on my knowledge and wisdom about a particular situation, but somebody else can come up and say, well, God, I don't think that's right and exact for these reasons. Now, their reasons, their understanding is going to show that my knowledge wasn't accurate, then I have to what? Bear witness to my supreme mathematics and go along with the proper understanding. Because if we don't have a clear understanding, then we're going to have a what? A misunderstanding. And that's what's going on today. We have a lot of misunderstanding about a lot of things that's being said and being done because y'all not getting the proper what? Knowledge of a thing. Some of y'all don't care about what's going on. Y'all just come here to fill a seat, to go back and say, I was at the party. But you don't know what's going on. Do you know that we are at risk of losing this parliament? Do you know that we don't have to be here? The only reason that we're here is because God Umar fought some things, and because of the history that we have of being right and exact with the Board of Education, when we use this facility as what stopped us from being kicked out of here. Because y'all don't pay attention to the small detail. Y'all look at the big shit. Y'all don't see the small thing. Point in fact, these babies running around here without supervision. In the gym, running around, acting buck wild. Running in the cafeteria, acting buck wild. A lot of people say, well, back in the day, when the father was here, this, that, and the third, the baby used to run freely. But it was a different mindset of the God at that time and the earth at that time, that if they were running around freely, somebody had a mindful eye on what they was doing. They wouldn't have time to be in the wall of the gym writing some gang shit on the wall. How you not gonna see a child taking time to say, boom shakalaka, here come the Chief Rocker, St. Nicholas Project crew? How you not gonna see that? Because you're not paying attention to the small details. How you not gonna see a child writing in the cafeteria? When we sit down to eat, when we sit down to build, when we sit down to socialize, when we meet our people we haven't seen in a while. How you not going to see a child writing on the wall? Because you're not paying attention to the small details. But y'all can all pay attention to that damn building on the corner. Because it's big. And y'all see that. But you're not paying attention to the small detail. And in this particular instance, the small detail will be the law school in Mecca. Because the big building is standing erect, y'all not paying attention to a law school in Mecca. You have no idea of what's going on. You would have never known what was going on if a law beater stand up here and say what he said today, unless you come around to the school to see it for yourself. How many of you know the bathrooms are prepared in the law school in Mecca? Raise your hand. Look at this. Because they paid attention to the small detail. The whole bathroom been gutted out, both of them. God as well as the earth. And there's more reconstruction getting ready to go on inside the school, but you would never know because y'all don't pay attention to the small detail. Wisdom knowledge is meaning of something very, very important if you pay attention to your supreme mathematics that you say, that you live out each and every day. So through a person's wisdom, you can see what they're thinking. If they're thinking right, and you and I working, and everything is real, we see the universe is what? Sun, moon, and stars, man, woman, and child, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And if you use it in the proper context, then you will see what's going on. But you don't see because you're not paying attention. There's no way that the air conditioner could be almost taken out in the class, one of the offices back there, where somebody gonna try to get in, to break in, so they can blame it on us. When we have this time together, that's when these children or adults try to do things, disguise themselves as us. So if I stand here talking to this God, I should be able to see what's going on over here, or he should be able to see all what's going on over there, and then, yo, what you doing? Hold on, stop that. We know it's not what? Right and exact. How you gonna be somewhere to see somebody doing something, and you're not gonna stop, and you know it's what? Wrong. If you know something is wrong, how you gonna stand by and let somebody do it, and you know that it's wrong? That means you're condoning what they're doing when it's wrong. We don't condone devilishment. We don't condone stealing, lying, cheating, how to master the original people. We don't condone that. I don't care who talks to y'all in what fashion. We don't condone bullshit and lies and trickery and thing and you don't even question it. So if you don't question something and you know it's wrong and you don't stop it, then that means you agree with it because you ain't said shit. As long as you don't say nothing, the bullshit is going to continue. This is wisdom built or destroyed. All being born a knowledge-ass cycle, all being born back to knowledge. Don't you know that if you don't make a difference, if you don't wake up, if you don't listen, that the bullshit will continue to move forward? And you say you care. You love this nation. Every time you pick up a 5% newspaper, one of the things that's always there, first and foremost, is what? Save our school. SOS. We go to the school, we have our meetings to make things better for our school. Landscaping, renovation, fixing the room, fixing the glass, paint job, toilet paper, stripping the floor. Those are small things. And good ideas come to us. And we sit down and we chop things up. Some things we agree with, some things we don't. But one thing we all agree, and that's throughout this whole nation. We protect our school. We don't want to lose our school. We want to make sure that we do the right thing when it pertains to our school. Am I right? Right. Now, my question is, what are you all doing to make sure to make that happen? If you don't pay attention to the small detail, how you going to know what's going on? How you going to know what you can or cannot do? Monday through Sunday, somebody's at the school. We all got jobs. Some in town, some out of town. We all got jobs. We all need to be able to stop by one day and say, peace God, peace earth, is there anything that I can do to help? What's going on? What's new? And the gods of earth spirit say, well, we got this coming up, we got this going on, we got a meeting pertaining to this, come on by, we got civilization class. You need to be informed. Wisdom knowledge, meaning that you are being informed about what's going on in your nation. When you say you're a part of a nation, that means we are all advocating for the same common cause, which is to destroy the devil, but at the same time, to make sure that there is nothing going wrong in the conflict of our nation, inside or out. The only way that can get done is that you have to become aware of what's happening. The Regent Conference is the beginning of making the small details bigger. That's my whole point. From soup to nuts, that's my whole point. You want to know what's going on with your nation? You want to know what's on the table? You got an opinion, you want to voice something? Come to the Region 1 Conference, listen to what's being said, ask your questions, get your questions answered. Now, if anybody here has a question for me, they can talk to me outside because my time is up. I don't want to take no more time from nobody else. My name is Born Justice Allah, and I reside in Piedmont. And if you want to talk to me about anything, I'm here. Peace.
Business, tickets? Tickets?
Yeah, I got tickets.
Tickets.
Peace. And Lord, down there, Allah, rest of Pelon, the days mathematics, wisdom, knowledge, all being born, understanding.
Peace, dog, man.
Peace. The Pelon Council, we doing the Father's Physical Three-Day Dance, Saturday, February 21st, the Wisdom Knowledge Day. Next year, at Alhambra, where they got the bowling ring right next to the school on the corner of 126th Street. The tickets will be $20, music by DJ Wise, no brown bags, security will be tight. As I said, that will be Saturday, February 21st. 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. Myself, Born Black, Ramel, Tashan Allah, Shamal, Allah be man, will be having tickets to be purchased before the dance. Peace.
to have civilization classes coming back to Pilar. If anybody here lives in Pilar, please get at me, give me a phone number, email address, or get out any of the gods of the earth that you may know in Pilar, and they can forward that information to me, and I'll let you know the location. We're looking for doing it probably in the month of January, depending on how much information I get back. Please. Hey.
I just want to take a quick second to say something to what Justice was saying earlier. Yesterday, we had a lot of snow down on the ground in front of the school. Can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me? All right. Yesterday, we had some snow in front of the school. And while I was picking the snow by myself, with the help of a few other people, older brothers, where I didn't see no young brothers coming over there until a couple of babies came over. A little baby girl about 4 years old, 6 years old, came and helped me until her hands was free. I mean, I think that if we have a snowstorm, it's very important that some of the guards are coming down to the school and helping out with cleaning that snow in front of the school. It's very important because if one of those people get hurt while walking past the school, it's on us. That school belongs to guards and us. You heard? All right, peace. That's all I got to say.
This nation business over yet? Any more announcements? Any more announcements to take to nation business? From anybody? Well, peace. Thank you.
But this happens to be nation business. This is very most important. My name, first of all, is Nancy Salhuya Law. Those that know me, and those that don't debate. And as you know, when I come here, my main topic is health. And I think that should be one of the #1 things on nation business. A lot of people are dying, and a lot of people are filled with diseases and all kinds of different ailments that really don't know what's going on with themselves. And our only recourse of action is to use European means of how to heal ourselves. But we the gods, right? So God has the answer to all problems, right? So healing thyself should be one of the #1 topics of each and every one of you individuals in here. And especially about children and our grandchildren. One of the things I wanted to talk about today, I know a few times I came before, I spoke about white sugar, right? I spoke about all of the foods that are white. Let me get into something real quick. Let me define what the word black means. Black, meaning the origin of things. Black actually means frequency. Frequency means the amount, the quality, and the quantity of intelligence. So, let me see where I'm going with this. Okay, so, I kind of lost my train of thought here. Okay, right, okay, black. Okay, so, the original people always have called themselves black. The reason I wanted to bring this up is because they got a group of individuals going around, these brothers called the Moors. And they are talking about, in their Circle 7, their Quran, they said that the word black means death. This is according to the definition of Noble Ali. And this is emphatically, mathematically, no. Now, cycle, because the original people have called themselves black from immemorial time. It's so far back, it's lost in history. Okay, again, because black means frequency, meaning the amount, the quality, and quantity of intelligence. Now, black meaning life.
that all life comes from black. Now, let me show you how disease is manifested in the body. All disease in the body is manifested as white. If you get athletic feet, what color is it? White. If you get a cold, the common cold, it'll run out of your nose as yellowish or white, right? All mucus in your body is white. If you die and get placed in a coffin and all the flesh right off your bone, what color you gonna be? White. So we agree that white is the manifestation of death, and black is the manifestation of all life. So, this is why health is so very important. Health should be one of the #1 topics on our agenda. All right? Now, one of the things I wanted to discuss, I talked about white sugar. White sugar, and I know this is going to take some time, but nation, if we say that we're going to do things right and exact, I got to let you know that white sugar is poison. Not only is it a drug, it's a narcotic drug. It has no nutrients in it, and it will rob your body of everything. Not only that,
At this time, we're going to bring up the love of the Lord.
be back. I'll be back.
Peace, gods and earth. My name is Beloved Allah. I grew up in the desert, as many of you know. Got knowledge at the age of knowledge equality. Learned from some of the best gods in the nation. There was a god in the desert who was teaching. His name was Prince Allah. And Prince Allah taught us. Peace and blessings upon him. That's right. And what Prince Allah taught us was that we had to master 120, become gods of the universe, fathers, but also master all the sciences. Gain mastery of the professions. Everyone must become master and proficient in at least one field of practice. He wrote this degree called Allah Science All. And it was the science behind all the sciences in the universe. And it was based upon mathematics. It started knowledge, the science of psychology, the science of the state of mind. Knowledge, it was biology, the study of the black man. Wisdom, the study of sociology. The only reason I brought this up is because what this instilled upon me is a love for science. And I started studying science. And we were always taught to go to school and master everything in school. And we did that. So I went to school, always had a love of mathematics since we studied supreme mathematics, majored in mathematics. But I wanted a type of applied mathematics, so I majored in engineering. And engineering is the science on how to build. So that's what I want to build upon today. How are the gods on earth going to build, specifically related to this site that the Father left for us around the corner, the Ross Wilderness site? We've had it for 40 years. We've maintained the Street Academy program. We've taught generations through that school. But what is our vision for that site? Do we want to develop the site, or would we be equally happy to leave it the way it is and continue our history the way we've been developing it, just teaching the babies as they come through? We have a question. What's our vision? What's our vision for that site? Develop. Well, got my degree in engineering. I'm a professional engineer in the state of New York. My field is building construction. I'm a partner in a consulting engineering firm here. And my specialty, as all builders, everyone who deals with building and energy or anything along those lines today,
The future in that is towards green engineering, green architecture, green energy, if you hear what's going on. So that's my specialty. I'm on the board of directors of the United States Green Building Council. One of the projects that we've worked on recently is a project called the Kalahari. It's down on 116th Street between 5th and 6th. It's two 13-tower residential units with retail at space. And the team on it is a developer, Full Spectrum, brother by the name of Carlton Brown. Peace out. An architect named Fred Schwartz. My firm, AKF Engineers, is the engineer on it. And what we accomplished was, it was a residential building for the community. It provided both market rate plus affordable housing, and the retail spaces in the building would accomplish theater and restaurant and office space. So knowing that we put this one team together to develop that site, I wanted to bring that same expertise to the nation to help us develop our site. So we had a meeting at the school last Saturday. And what we have to do in order for us to develop and build our site is for all of us to be in the same mind, in 100% agreement as to what we want. What's our vision? What do we want to build on this site? So we met, and within the past year, there's been a couple of proposals. We had a proposal for the past 2 years, and the first idea was to build a 25-story building, build condominiums upstairs, sell the condominiums, and the sale of the condominiums would pay for our school. We would even have money left over. We could create an endowment that would earn interest and allow us to maintain the building in perpetuity. Everyone knows the economy has changed, and I don't know if you know it or not, condominiums aren't selling as other types of buildings. So we met with, so it raised the question for us that if we are going to develop, the first question is, do we want to develop the site? That's the first question. And I ask you all that, do we want to develop the site?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Does anybody feel that you might not want to develop the site, that we might, that the Father left that building for us to maintain it as it is? Does anyone feel that?
Question here. When you say develop the site, dog, are we talking about developing the site with the school there intact, or tearing it down and building up?
Tearing it down and building up. Because the building is so fragile. The building is about to fall down upon us right now. So when we say it's not worth much, it's not much value, it has a lot of historical value. And that any site, any development that we would do, one, that we would all be in agreement with how we develop it. But we would have to maintain the historical aspects of it, our history. We would have to put that in the new one. But the building material, the bricks are old, water's leaking in, it's sheetrock, it's old sheetrock, it's old corroded wood, and there's no value in any of that. So what we're talking about, we say develop the site is brand new building, brand new material, built to last, generation, but to maintain our historical character. So let me just go on with this. The Dodge met. I met with the board of directors of the Allah School in Mecca, Inc. Allah Street Academy.
Allah School in Mecca, Street Academy.
Board of directors. And we built about all these items. And this is what I got out of that meeting. This is what we are all in one mind on. We're in one mind that one, we want to develop the property. Because Allah is a universal builder. And that we have to build on this site.
That's right.
Because building is an expression of our intelligence and our creativity. Number one, we have And in building, these are the criteria that we have to have in any type of building that we do. Has to be in a law school on that site.
That's right, and exactly.
Has to be in a law school with classrooms, with IT spaces, with a cafeteria, with a kitchen, with an auditorium. That's what we want out of that.
Tell me, God, whatever I can do, tell me.
Please.
That's peace now, peace.
Two, we want to create jobs. My engineering firm was involved in this building that's being built right next door to the school. Which way? We're here. Right next door to the school.
The final building or the field, what's the name of the building?
Defeat.
The field, yeah.
Peace.
And in building that building, they had to put what they call footings. Footings is structurally, it's like a foundation of a building. Whenever you build a building up, you have to have some structural foundation that structures it to the ground. So they had to dig down in order to put these footings in, and they had to do it right up against our property. Now, we could have said to them that you can't use any of our property for construction. You have to build from the other side. But to build footings from one side, structurally, is very expensive. So we allowed them to use some of our site, some of our garden property, to build the footings. And we charged them to do that. And so the law school of Mecca has been using those proceeds from that construction deal that we did. But just imagine, we build our own building. We control all the finances of our own construction. It's not just a few dollars to help them with one little decision, but we control the resources for everything that goes on in that site. So number two, what we have to do is create jobs as part of the building. Number three, we would like to have at the end of the building an endowment for the nation. Some funds that are left over that we can put away that can raise interest that would come back to the nation over time. And the last thing, and the most important thing, and I know what everyone wants to build about, is ownership, that we have to maintain ownership of the site. It's the father founded the school first on that site. We have a 99-year lease. So any deal that goes down in time, we're going to have to maintain ownership. So right now, there are possibilities for us to develop this site. And there's one group in particular that I was at a cocktail reception with the green building community, and one of the members is a developer. Not the developer we're working with, but he's a developer, and he's associated with a dance company called Bill T. Jones. Anybody know Bill T. Jones, the dance company? I never heard of the name. You heard of Alvin Ailey? I'm a company like Alvin Ailey, but it's not Alvin Ailey. But they say Bill T. Jones, world-renowned, expressive dance company, they're looking for a home in Harlem. So there is a deal, a potential development deal that we could enter with any entity that we choose. But this one in particular is Bill T. Jones. We're looking at the feasibility of us co-developing on this site. And so all I would like to announce to the nation today is that at the next, what we're going to do over the next month, there are a group of us, and anyone who wants to go and see their programs and see what they're about, let us know. But over the next month, we're going to go into their facility, see what their organization is about, see what their programs is about, and then at the next rally, we would like to invite them to the Parliament to have a presentation from the Gods and Earth so we can show them our social equality and what we are about.
Can I ask one question, y'all? You said, beloved, about tearing it down. When you say that in the development stage of it, how long do you think it would be to be erected? Will you still lease while it's being developed and able to come to the law school? But what is your projected insight?
You could build in phases. You could keep the structure there and build in phases. It's more expensive. And I don't believe, I feel the building's about to fall down in place. So what we would want to do is reclaim everything of value out of the school. Take everything that we want to put back, take it out. You know, or banner, or whatever it is, the photos, everything that we want to recreate on the site. We take it out, let them build the entire site. A typical construction takes 18 months.
So in that part, it's saying that we have the nation of God's worked out, where we would have a site, a temporary site, reference to being.
We didn't get that far yet.
We didn't get that
We're
far.
just making the consideration
Okay, all right.
of, as he delineated, what we would want. Law school, job,
Maybe I was looking at myself.
educational endowment, and ownership.
That's a good point. But the engine process, what we gonna do for those 18 months?
We're going to do what we always do, what we always do. We build no matter where we are. Home site is on site. The yards could be the construction worker. You know, us building could be the building.
This is my main concern, guys, is that doing that limbo phase, that's a place of being in limbo. And things can happen, things happen with contracts, things happen with contractors. And that 18 months be on this for all practical concerns. So I think it's definitely a plan to have something.
Yeah, they do, but I will tell you this. You could look at being in limbo two ways. You could look at the period when we may not have a physical building, or when the new building is being built. You may call that limbo, I may call that building. I may call that laying the foundation for something greater. I may not look at that as limbo.
But look, I have a question. You said that while you was at a cocktail party, someone, a developer, approached you and asked in regards if they can have like a partnership. Is it something like that?
No.
Okay. There's a developer while you was at this cocktail party that approached you and asked you something pertaining to the land that we are on.
No, sir.
But please let me understand it correctly there.
Uh,
I got a misunderstanding.
You do. I had a conversation with a developer, but he wouldn't be our developer. We have our own developer. But he is a developer by his profession. But he is on the board of directors of this dance company, Bill T. Jones. I had mentioned, we were talking about the Obama election night. And I was telling them that I wasn't in Manhattan, but I was speaking with the guards from up in Harlem. And that led to that we have a property, a site.
Stay on there. Here's the class. Building and
How other people want. There's millions of people that want that land. This is not the first developer who have came to acquire that land through Rabbit or Popo. Forest. Before I sit down, though, y'all got to understand this, that the birth record states that if you inherit something to your parents, your job is to make greater than what your parents gave to you. That's right. Now, any means necessary. But according to mathematics, it states that it's our job as men and women to do it first for ourselves. Because the catch in this day and time, based on wisdom knowledge, is always money, not resource. Money. So we thought we could do this presentation and we ask a question. But based on knowledge, where clarification will come, that what was given to us is 21:22. Right. That God, we took that. Right. That verse is that. Right. Sometimes we took that. Right. Just like the government, how they bought eminent domain for property, they can take that from you. Not in this case. I want y'all to understand that you cannot be confused when you have the foundation of knowledge. In any decision, regardless of the presentation, pro or against, because you got to look at everything. Might be anything like that. But in looking at anything and analyzing all these things, you have to go according to what was given to you, not by the city, but by your father. The mindset known as the birth. He gave you the signs of a month, a year, and a day. And he told you to mathematics in your language. And we adhere to that on personal level. We got complacent to do it on all levels. Any business transaction, any social transaction, any educational development where it involves more than one a nation, the citizens, and generations to come after that, you have to apply day, month, and year according to the language that we was given known as mathematics.
Tomorrow. I don't mean to interrupt you, but we got to get back there. And let me just add, that's where we at. That's why this presentation is being made, so that you'll know. And in regards to the premise of the property, do your research. 2122 was a gift from New York City. The rest of the property that became abandoned, we acquired through adverse possession. Like he said, we took it, and we took ownership. So that's no question about the premise. What is being presented is matters of consideration. Matters of consideration. Let us finish.
Go ahead,
So, I've made my presentation. That's what it is. That, what I want is for all of us to be of one mind and in agreement that the gods and earth together as one body is going to agree upon one vision for that site that we all want, that we all want to work towards. and that we want to come out of this saying that this is what we're going to do. We have a lot of history over the last 25 years of different things. Concerts to raise money, all types of stuff. And it's easy to look backwards, and we need to look backwards too, because it's really a guide to help us guide through the decisions that we have going forward. But what I want us to do is to look forward, to have a vision for what we want the site to be. I want everyone just to start thinking about it. To start thinking about it. And in the next rallies, we're going to come forward, and we're going to come forward with architectural visions and a developer and any development framework that we feel might achieve the things that we spoke about that I presented today, which is number one, to develop the site, number two, create jobs.
And they can like you or dislike you, but I tell you the truth. My father told me. What you're saying is right. But we have to be fighting that. Now, if my history is correct, we went through this process before amongst ourselves a couple of years ago about terminating that project of the 7-story building. The same advocates or different ones advocated the same thing, that we want to have a 7-story building. What we want from around the corner, we want for our children immaculate place, because that's the national headquarters. We don't want to stay right, because as time changes and aesthetics, we must change with it. So nobody's questioning that. So I'm saying that if we are a nation based on writing that and mathematics, then I'm going for the mathematics. That other 7-year project have not been terminated. Excuse me, Lord, have not been terminated. So I'm saying that all these things got to come into account while we're here today. Next parliament is next parliament. But this parliament is based on wisdom and knowledge that we can understand what is right and what is not right. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. So you get mad from doing this, but I got to do it because understand this. When you all make a decision on all these things, these are decisions of life and death physically. Fuck around and blow that. If we choose to wait, then all accolades are due. Because we're talking about not us, but the generations after us. So I commend beloved for bringing resources to us, and this is what power is about. To bring resources to you that we can look at from head to toe legally in every aspect of one another. So I'm not an advocate of don't, I'm not an advocate of yes. I'm saying that y'all as citizens, that's what he's saying, of this nation.
You are giving your respect.
Consideration in the
That's well said, Dumar, and that's exactly what I'm saying. It's exactly what I'm saying, is that I want us to be of one mind, because you know the one mind is a law. And that is how you make an idea that's right. That's how you go through the wisdom and the heat of pressure and analysis to make sure it's right exactly. And that's exactly what I'm speaking about. So, go ahead, because Dr. running the time. Well, excuse me, let's go right here.
I want to say about affordable housing. I mean, further consideration with the father taking time to rebuild. I mean, I heard a lot of folks on here that say the father has the father being cut out. I mean, so I mean, for the future of the nation, I mean, you have anybody that say, oh, we should build because you knew you had a 99-year lease. But not the fact that you said that affordable housing. Now, as you can see that they out. I mean, you gotta have a certain amount of money to live in Harlem. As you can see, the building next door, it don't look like we can afford living here. So if we have a building that's gonna be our building, as a person like me, you know, you're on a fixed income, you know, could I afford to live in the building? Well,
lessee. How is a lessee? How is a lessee? I don't know. We are the lessee. We have the lease, all right? Wait a minute. Look. What I mean is, we have the lease.
I understand.
If you go on,
I understand.
the city
Sahin, who's a lawyer, knows, as we all know, that we got a 99-year lease to the property. A 99-year lease, because back in the 60s, the city was giving out a lot of property that were abandoned in communities and giving them to community groups. Community groups, like the Abyssinia Development, and they develop on the site that they have leased, because a 99-year lease is damn near equivalent to ownership in real estate law, because it's for so long. It's for so long. So what I'm saying, what our proposal is not that we have this idea we're going to put up in front of the rally, we're going to agree upon it, and now we're going to put a shovel in the ground. What we're going to do, we're going to have this idea, we're going to put it in front of the rally, we're all going to agree upon it, and then we're all going to go as one to the city. This is our vision, this is what we want to build upon, and then get approvals from all the city agencies to go on the site.
Gods must agree.
These guys.
Are we gonna have the site after 99 years?
Excuse me, guys?
Are we gonna have the site after the lease up? After the lease is up, we build on top of that land.
See, I mean, that's the critical question.
Right.
That's the critical question. But let me ask you a question first. Will we have use of the site if we don't build after 99? That's what you gotta ask. Absolutely. And this is what I say. And let me give you an answer. What I feel is if you don't build, I think we should have been slapped in the maintain. I think the only way you keep it is if you build. Is if you present a vision that is so powerful to the community. Let me talk about the vision for 1 second. Because there's been a lot of building up in Harlem and along the 125th Street corridor that people have been presented that has been for the community. But look at what they've left. You got an Old Navy, you got all these retail establishments, but nothing really for the community. So when we present our ideas, we have always been about the community. The law school has always held its door open. And anything else that goes on that site, we should add that as another one. It has to be for the community.
Right.
And not just about someone wanting to make money off the land. So to answer your question, the only way that we maintain that 99 years is to build on it and develop something that's so clean that serves the community. That's how we're going to get to the other side.
I think we want to make sure that after we do all the pros working, then the city will come and take it from us.
Right, but you heard. Let me just address that also. You know, everyone's talking about the city taking something, and God Colleen taught me this years ago. The city has only been the only one who's always been in our back. The city has never tried to take the side of us. There's always been some of the group. So let's understand that also, that the city was the one who gave the father the land. And the city has been the one who has always maintained it for us to build upon. So first, no, we want to always try to take it.
That's why we shouldn't let no other developments come, because first of all, you said juveniles, my name was you asked if we have a vision. I had a vision for 36 years since I've been in this station, and that was to see a large school stand and raise it for the guards to build. You asked the question, do we want to develop?
Yes.
We, the nation of the guards is earth.
Yes.
Nation, we are placing a hypothetical as well as theoretical situation. And the hypothetical as well as theoretical situation. Do we wait for somebody else to build a school, or do we come together?
Yes.
We know set time or day.
Yes.
We have to come together.
Yes.
This is about all the other
Exactly.
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 What y'all
our nation. See, God, all those sounds, all those things you said, what y'all saying, that sounds good. But when y'all walk out here, y'all work your own individual world. It's not a question, do we want to build? The question, are we looking at the resources we got inside our own nation? First and foremost, the city's not going to take nothing because it's giving us the build farm. When we say build a farm, are you talking about bringing about inclusion? My question is this. We can raise some money. My question is this. You know what I mean? You know what? This is the mindset of what happens every time. One person says money. Another person says they always talk that but never produce what? The money. So automatically the conflict of building is not there. Y'all can quote it, but we got to learn how to do it. We have to learn to go through the birth process of do assessment. If you want to put somebody in there, that's here or there. But at the same time, what are the characters of these people that you put in?